Open-world games might offer freedom, but linear games deliver tightly crafted experiences that hit harder and leave a lasting impression. Today we're diving deep into 15 perfect linear games that showcase why sometimes less really is more. I'll also share my personal thoughts on each game because these aren't just games, they're journeys. Let's get started. A Plague Tale, Innocence is one of those rare gems that combines gripping storytelling with intense gameplay. Set during the Black Death in 14th century France, the game tells the story of Amicia and her younger brother Hugo, who are trying to survive not only the plague but also the relentless pursuit of the Inquisition. The gameplay revolves around stealth, puzzle solving, and using light to navigate the swarms of plague-ridden rats that serve as both a mechanic and a metaphor for the darkness surrounding their world. I remember being completely engrossed in this game from the very beginning. The bond between Amicia and Hugo felt so real that every danger they faced hit me on a deeply emotional level. The linear structure kept the tension high, making me feel like every step was critical. I genuinely didn't want to put the controller down because the pacing was just that good. A Plague Tale proves that when it comes to storytelling, a focused path can deliver unmatched emotional impact.
What's all the racket?
Eh? What's that? I'll have to go and see.
Control isn't just a game, it's an experience that immerses you in its strange, mind-bending world. You play as Jessie Faden, who arrives at the Federal Bureau of Control, looking for answers about her past only to find herself thrust into the role of director. The game's linear design takes you through a labyrinth of increasingly bizarre and surreal environments, enhanced by stellar physics-based combat that lets you throw objects, deflect attacks, and levitate with unmatched precision. I can't overstate how much I love Control's atmosphere. The story is deeply cryptic, but that's part of its charm. I found myself stopping to read every document and absorb every audio log just to piece together the lore. And don't get me started on the combat, it's easily some of the most satisfying I've ever played. Control's focused progression means you never get lost or overwhelmed, allowing the narrative and action to stay front and center. Dead Space Remake takes the iconic horror of the 2008 original and updates it for a modern audience. You step into the boots of Isaac Clarke, an engineer sent to investigate the USG Ishimura, a mining ship overrun by grotesque necromorphs. The game's linear progression amplifies the horror by forcing you into tightly designed claustrophobic environments where danger lurks around every corner. Dead Space is a masterclass in atmosphere. Playing the remake felt like stepping back into my worst nightmares, but in the best way possible. The linear design kept me on edge because I knew there was no escape except forward. Every hallway, every vent, every flickering light felt deliberate, crafted to make me sweat. It's the kind of game where you pause not to think but to catch your breath, and I loved every second of it. Detroit Become Human is Quantic Dream's most ambitious interactive drama. This game put you in control of 3 androids whose lives intertwine in a future where androids fight for equality. The game's branching paths create a web of possibilities, but its linear structure ensures every decision has weight and every moment feels meticulously crafted. This game hit me in ways I didn't expect. The moral dilemmas and emotional stakes made me sit back and question my choices more than once. I especially loved how the linear design didn't overcomplicate the narrative. It let the story shine while still giving me enough control to feel like I was shaping it. Detroit isn't just a game, it's an experience that sticks with you long after the credits roll.
You lied to me, Connor. You lied to me.
Dishonored 2 builds on the foundation of its predecessor with a compelling story of revenge and restoration. You choose to play as either Corvo Atano or Emily Caldwin, each with unique powers and playstyles. While the levels offer multiple paths and freedom in execution, the game's narrative progression is linear, ensuring you're always moving forward through its beautifully designed steampunk world. The art style alone makes Dishonored 2 unforgettable, but it's the freedom within a linear framework that impressed me most. I loved experimenting with Emily's powers, like Domino, which lets you link enemies' fates. The game felt like a puzzle box, and each level was a masterpiece. It's proof that a linear narrative can still leave room for creativity and experimentation.
Combat Protocol 6. School of Adventure. Each new visitor is another test for the Clockwork Soldiers. Each makes them better. Tactical mode.
Final Fantasy VII Remake takes the first act of the original and expands it into a 40-hour epic. While Midgar might feel expansive, the game's progression remains linear, allowing it to focus on the relationships between its characters and the escalating stakes of their mission. This remake wasn't just a nostalgia trip, it was a reimagining that exceeded my expectations. The linear approach meant that every chapter was packed with story, emotion, and action. Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, and Barrett felt more alive than ever, and I found myself deeply invested in their journey. It's a perfect blend of old and new that never overstayed its welcome.
Fate is not to be taken lightly.
Shut up!
Sorry.
Here it comes.
God of War 2018 redefined what it means to reboot a franchise. Set in the Norse mythology era, this game follows Kratos as he tries to navigate fatherhood and guide his son Atreus on a journey to scatter his late wife's ashes. While the world feels expansive, the game's linear progression ensures a focused and emotionally charged narrative. The seamless camera work, which never cuts away, amplifies the intimacy of the story. This game hit me like a thunderbolt. The relationship between Kratos and Atreus isn't just the heart of the story, it's the soul. I felt their struggles, their arguments, and their growth. The linear structure was perfect for this journey. Every boss fight, every quiet moment, and every revelation felt earned. God of War is proof that a tightly woven story can still feel epic in scale.
Okay, just tell me when to shoot.
Guardians of the Galaxy surprised everyone with its charm, humor, and heart. You play as Star-Lord, leading your ragtag crew through a galaxy filled with danger, drama, and hilarious dialogue. The game's linear structure allows for expertly crafted character development and a focused storyline that feels ripped straight out of a Marvel movie. I didn't expect this game to resonate with me as much as it did. The team dynamics, the banter, and the emotional moments really caught me off guard. The linear progression meant the story never lost its pace, keeping me hooked from start to finish. This game isn't just a love letter to Marvel fans, it's a masterclass in storytelling.
Let's just focus on not becoming food ourselves!
We need to regroup!
You're right! This isn't working! I've learned! It's like we woke up the whole ship! Just hang in there!
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a haunting exploration of mental health, grief, and Norse mythology. You step into the shoes of Senua, a picked warrior battling psychosis as she journeys to Helheim to save her lover's soul. The game's linear design enhances its intensity as every moment feels deeply personal and intimate, especially with the binaural audio that immerses you in Senua's mind. This game left me speechless. The way it handles mental health is raw and unflinching. I played with headphones, and the whispers and auditory hallucinations made it feel like I was experiencing Senua's struggles firsthand. The linearity kept the narrative focused, making every step of her journey unforgettable. It's an emotionally draining experience, but one I'd go through again in a heartbeat.
And so you killed her!
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness and abandoned you.
You taunted her! You killed her! You are the darkness!
Those rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you.
Prey is a sci-fi thriller set aboard Talos Y, a space station overrun by shape-shifting aliens known as the Typhon. While the game gives you freedom to explore its linear progression through a story, filled with moral choices and terrifying encounters, makes it a perfect blend of horror and strategy. Prey is a game that constantly kept me on edge. Knowing that any object could be a mimic had me second-guessing everything. The linear story gave structure to the exploration, ensuring the narrative stayed sharp without overwhelming me with options. It's one of the smartest games I've ever played, and every choice I made felt impactful.
Morgan, there, in the foyer. Grab the neuromod you see in the display case. Normally it's a fake, but I swapped in a real one for you. The neuromods are critical. You won't survive without using them to install new aptitudes. I've already updated your transcribe with the list you requested. Take a look.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart showcases what next-gen hardware can do. This colorful, action-packed platformer takes you on an interdimensional adventure as Ratchet, Clank, and newcomer Rivet battle an evil emperor. Its linear design keeps the action flowing and ensures every set piece is a spectacle. Rift Apart was pure joy from start to finish. The visuals are stunning, the combat is exhilarating, and the story is heartwarming. The linear structure meant there was always something exciting around the corner, and I never felt bogged down by unnecessary distractions. It's like playing a Pixar movie, and I couldn't get enough of it.
We have to get the Dimensionator away from Dr. Nefarious!
Yes, and quickly. Whatever he has planned, it cannot be good.
Turn yourself in! Fall back!
The Resident Evil 4 Remake reimagines one of the most beloved survival horror games of all time. As Leon S. Kennedy, you navigate a remote European village plagued by a sinister cult and parasitic horrors. The linear progression heightens the tension, making every encounter feel life or death. I was skeptical about the remake, but Capcom nailed it. The updated visuals and mechanics modernized the experience while preserving the original's charm. The linear structure kept the pacing tight, and every boss fight felt like a crescendo in the game's relentless symphony of terror. Resident Evil 4 Remake is a masterclass in how to revitalize a classic. Sifu is a martial arts masterpiece that tells the story of a young warrior seeking revenge. Its linear progression takes you through beautifully crafted levels, each filled with challenging enemies and brutal combat. The game's aging mechanic adds a unique twist, making every death feel impactful. Sifu is like stepping into a kung fu movie. The combat is intense, requiring precision and skill, but that's what made it so satisfying. Each level felt like a trial by fire, and the linear progression made the narrative personal and focused. This game made me feel like a martial arts master, and I loved every minute of it. The Last of Us Part 1 is an emotional roller coaster that pairs brutal survival gameplay with a story about love, loss, and redemption. The linear narrative ensures that every moment hits with maximum impact, weaving a tale that stays with you long after you've put the controller down. This game is a masterpiece, plain and simple. The relationship between Joel and Ellie felt so real that I found myself emotionally invested in every decision and every danger. The linear design allowed Naughty Dog to tell a story that's as close to perfection as you can get. It's a game I'll never forget.
Cover me, I'm moving up. Got you. You ain't going nowhere.
Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is a swashbuckling adventure that serves as the perfect conclusion to Nathan Drake's story. The game's linear design allows for breathtaking set pieces, heartfelt character moments, and a story that feels like the pinnacle of action-adventure gaming. Uncharted 4 is the definition of cinematic gaming. The linear progression means you're always moving toward the next incredible moment, whether it's a high-speed chase or a quiet conversation. I laughed, I cried, and I marveled at the visuals. It's the kind of game you wish you could play for the first time all over again. Linear games like these prove that storytelling, emotional depth, and unforgettable moments don't need sprawling worlds to leave a mark. Which of these games is your favorite? Did I miss one you'd include on this list? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gaming content. Until next time, keep playing and keep the stories alive.